Do you want to make sure that your property is tenant ready and to maximise the amount of rent that you're able to achieve? Well, this is the episode for you.
Heal Your Home with Jason Ratcliffe.
We're going to be looking at how to prepare your rental property to ensure that you attract the best tenants possible and to ensure that it is ready for renting and to optimise the amount of rent that's possible. And of course, we'll have a listener question and a tenant top tip.
Heal Your Home with Jason Ratcliffe.
It does make sense to make sure that that property is clean, is tidy, is modern. Make sure that the bathrooms are clean and modern. Make sure it's maintained. So all the sealant, the grouting, it's not gross. It's not, there's no black spot mold. And I think the best way of putting it is, and I think the best advice I've ever been given is if you're looking at a property for yourself and your family, if you don't like it or you wouldn't live there, why would anybody else? And I think that's a really good way of looking at it. Take the business out of it. Don't look at it from a business perspective. Don't think, why would I spend money on this? Someone would let it anyway. Look at it from a family perspective. If you wouldn't live there, why would somebody else? And why would you expect somebody else to? And that's really important. And therefore, you're going to have less hassle with turnover or empty vacant properties. And then you're going to have less hassles trying to then put that back on the market, then having the turnaround of vacant properties and probably then void periods where you're then going to have issues with trying to find ways of paying those bills, because you're probably still going to have a mortgage, you're still going to have council tax bills to pay on that property. So even in a business sense, it makes sense to think about it from a person perspective and a home perspective. There's a lot of clients of mine, they do benefit actually both from a financial perspective, a cash flow perspective, but also from a well-being perspective if they actually put people first. If you put the people first, put your tenants first, put their families first, it actually makes a huge difference in their cash flow and the profits. It's not just money and looking at how much money is in the bank. That will follow. Trust me, it will follow. Make sure that it's affordable. It can still be at market value, but make sure that the home, that the house or the flat, whatever it may be, feels like a home. Make sure it's a functional space. It's well maintained. It's painted. It's decorated. It's nicely, and it feels like a safe environment. And also, make sure, again, we talk about lighting quite a lot on this show. Make sure there's adequate and safe lighting. Light bulbs are changed. Also, I mean, this is probably going a bit above and beyond, but make sure that smart technology might well be a thing that you may want to invest in. So smart thermostats, for example, and make sure there may be dimmer switches within bedrooms so that you can give your tenants that extra little bit of flexibility. But also maybe consider pets. Pets is a really good one, and a lot of landlords they shy away from this because obviously the extra damage and hassle, but there are things like pet deposits, additional insurances, regular inspections, things like that. You can also get recommendations from previous landlords and rental and letting agents, so there are various safeguards that can be put in place, but also it widens the door for further tenants and families as well. But also pricing strategies. You can make sure that you are researching the local area, especially if it's a new property that you've purchased and you're not really familiar with the local area. You don't want to outprice the property. I've seen it quite a lot as well personally, where people get too greedy and they can go, oh yeah, but I'm going to put the property on for this much because it is going to achieve this much money, and it may only be an extra £100-200 more than the property down the road, but it may stay vacant for an extra 2 months, and yes, it may then be tenanted, but actually in the long run, it's never going to recoup that cost because it's too much money and it's actually then lost. Say, for example, that property down the road was on the market at £600 and you've put your property on the market at £650, but it's left vacant for an extra 2 months. Well, okay, the money that you gained theoretically is an extra over that year is an extra, say, £500. Well, okay, but you've you've just lost £1,200, so you've actually lost money for putting it on the market for too much money. So think logistically in the long run, and then that tenant may actually figure that out in the long run and go, this is too expensive. Actually the one down the road has become available. I'm going to move there. So then your property is going to be vacant, and again, it's going to start that rhythm again. So actually kind of the pricing strategy of what you decide to rent that out for is really important. So think about these things. It's not just about finding a property and putting it on the market. There is a lot to think about, and then just think about how you would feel about moving into that property. The main thing and the main takeaway from this episode is, would you move into this property?
And now, a listener question for Heal Your Home.
So our listener question for this week's episode of Heal Your Home is how best to improve the chances of getting a good tenant. This is from Anya in Taunton. She's a new landlord, and that's a great question actually, and fits really well within this episode. To be honest with you, you've already got your property, so location is already set. But to be honest, don't be too greedy in the sense of setting your rent. Do your research. Make sure that your rent you're asking fits in with the local market, but also don't be too emotionally attached or involved with overspending when you're investing within the property. But at the same time, ensure that the facilities that are in there are modern, they're safe to use, and the property feels well kept and maintained and is safe and attractive to come into. People want to live there and make it their home. But as well as that, it's neutral for a wide audience. It's not a niche. So it's really important. Also, if you're not doing it alone, make sure you get a reputable letting agent within the area, because normally they'll have a good vetting system in place, which will have a good deposit scheme, and they may even have a list of potential tenants they may have already dealt with previously. So this is a really good way to start. As well as that, if you can get background checks or guarantors in place if need be, this is also a really good way of increasing the stability of the tenants that you choose. So I hope this helps, but by all means go and vet out yourself some local estate agents and letting agents, and do a little bit of research on the local area, and good luck.
Jason's Tenant Top Tip.
Can landlords be asked to install smart tech? I mean, technically no, but if you have a good rapport with your landlord, or I mean, for the sake of, if you're a good tenant and they respect you as a tenant, maybe you can come to some kind of agreement where they may wish to invest, or they may allow you to invest in smart tech. Smart tech can be taken out of a property quite a lot of the time. So between the two, you may be able to come to some kind of agreement. Obviously, it can most of the time save a lot of bills and money from household bills. So actually, it can be the benefit of tenants as well. So it may well be actually that the tenants can get the landlord to agree to allow the tenants to actually go in and just do it themselves. A lot of smart tech, actually, you probably won't need the landlord's permission if it's things like smart plugs and things like that anyway. So go ahead and have the conversation, get in there, get stuck in, and start using it as much as possible.
Heal Your Home with Jason Ratcliffe.
Check out the website at homehealthexpert.co.uk for more information, to check out the services that we can help with for you and your family and improve your home's health, and also for the top tip guides that we have available for you. You can submit listener questions through our website, and also by emailing our team at info@homehealthexpert.co.uk, or by searching for Home Health Expert on Instagram and Facebook. We will try our absolute best to get round to your questions and help your family out to improve your home's health. Don't forget to subscribe to Heal Your Home wherever you get your podcasts, or on YouTube if you're watching along. Thanks again for listening. It really does mean a lot. We could not do this without you, and in actual fact, it would be completely pointless. So please send in your questions, and I look forward to you joining me in the next episode of Heal Your Home. Your health, your future, it all starts here.